First, I want to thank you for talking to us and allowing us to show the Giant Spider Invasion 50th Anniversary Edition at our Sawdust City Fright Fest. I appreciate that quite a bit, sir. We enjoy celebrating Wisconsin horror, and yours is a prime example of it. I guess my first question is, what made you want to make a giant creature feature in Wisconsin?
Well, I was by the time we made that picture, it was pretty well rooted in Wisconsin on my farm that later became the Shooting Ranch Studios, and it was actually I made the first feature film in Wisconsin with a total Wisconsin crew and cast. Before that, which you might remember, was Invasion from Inner Earth, also known as a Selected, which we premiered in the Wausau Theater, the Grand Theater in Wausau, long before Giant Spider Invasion. And then at the studio premises, which were reasonably primitive at that time, we were developing other projects, one of which was Spiders, of course, and developed with Richard Tupper Madison from your area there, and who wanted to make a science fiction picture, and he called me to collaborate with him on the screenplay. At first, it was called Silent Night, Alien Night, and if you can believe that, and I nixed that title right away. I said, no, it's impossible. That's never going to make a good science fiction. Maybe a Christmas picture. He says, why not? I said, well, you don't have anything coming down from outer space. You need a creature. You need some kind of a threat. You need science fiction. So that's we came up with the idea. An asteroid coming down from outer space and hitting the Earth, and we got to have something crawl out of it. And I thought of spiders. And the distributor, based on a treatment at that time, loved the idea. All he was concerned was how big can we make the spider. And I said, well, maybe we're going to do tarantulas, but maybe we could make it a little bigger. He says, I got to have something that's at least 20 to 25 feet. I didn't give an answer right away, but I got talked into it, committing myself to a 25-foot spider. So we came back and scratching our heads, how in the hell am I going to deliver a 25-foot spider with a $10,000 special effects budget? That. Well, the rest of the story is history, you know. The Volkswagen served a purpose, and they, like Dan Davies in my 50th anniversary version states, Bob Millay, my special effects guru from Chicago, thought a Volkswagen that I had sitting in the back lot could be converted into a spider, and he went to work, drank a lot of beer to make it happen. Mind you, that was Wisconsin beer. And we were successful with it, I think. And the rest of the story, I think, is pretty much well known. It put the state of Wisconsin on the map worldwide. Enigmatic picture with the Volkswagen. Volkswagen got 50 years of free publicity out of it. No, we didn't get a free Volkswagen.
Oh.
But Wisconsin got a lot of mileage out of the picture. And it's still getting a lot of mileage. And I would expect after we release, as you know, we have a premiere of it on the 30th of October in Rhineland. I do mention that some might want to, and you might want to come see it and join the festivities. We're also going to show 2 hours of Wisconsin movie scrapbook, which is the whole history of the things that I did and we did at the Shooting Ranch studio. I'm just sorry that I couldn't be there in person for you with the new version, the so-called enhanced version we did. Um, it's a festivity type. It's a beautiful new opening with a James Bond type opening with the title song of Giant Spider Invasion.
Nice.
And it goes into the picture and they enhance some of the effects, which were kind of dull in the first one. And we might surprise you with a few new tarantulas.
Well, you have plenty of tarantulas in this one, not just the big ones, which are impressive, but you have small ones as well. Uh, were you using real spiders, and did you have a spider wrangler?
Oh, absolutely. Bob Millay, who did the VW spider, he loved the tarantulas. Those were his pets, especially the black and red one called Tanya. That was his love. He loved that spider. Matter of fact, when Barbara Hale brushed it off her Jeep in the briefcase, got killed, he cried like a baby.
The stunt spider life is a short one, so. Uh, but why do you think what do you think it is about giant spider invasion that has endured and appealed to so many for so long?
I think it's the campiness, not taking it all too serious, and the fact that keeping in mind that some people admire the fact that in 75 we didn't have computer generated effects, we didn't have AI, we didn't have any digital options to anything. We had to do it physically, and that maybe was admired. And the campiness is what did it. And needless to say, the stars were the main thing. They were pretty well known all over the globe.
Yeah,
Just,
having Barbara Hale and Alan Hale Jr. in it was very impressive.
yeah, I call it, it was an enigmatic uh, success. And luckily, it did something, it did good for me. It did better for the distributor
Hmm.
than it did for me. I mean, I don't know if you know, the picture made about a million
Hmm.
in the first 2.5 years.
And this was the first. This was the same year as Jaws came out. So,
Right.
and did wasn't Spider Invasion out before Jaws, or was it after?
I think before,
Hmm. So,
very little before Jaws. I remember when Jaws was just shooting, and Spielberg had a lot of problems with the first Jaws,
mhm,
but we didn't have the money like the studio had. The
sure.
studio had to redo the whole thing and make a real Jaws. We were kind of stuck, and we were gloating when we heard that he had problems doing the first one. Very nice, but there's a German word for it. I don't know if you know what Schadenfreude.
Oh, okay.
I mean, happy if something's going wrong with somebody else.
Well, it shows no matter how big your budget, your film is, there are always production or technical issues that will occur. So, uh, with Giant Spider Invasion, what do you hope audiences get out of this Spider? If the movie, if there was one thing that you would hope they would get out of it, what would it be?
I think good entertainment, as long as it has a story, it has some levity. Not too many audiences could take it serious, but they enjoyed it as not knowing what comes next in the way of levity and a little bit of humor and campiness. The combination of it all, I think, had an effect.
Hmm. And you do have, as you mentioned before, the appeal of the cast. You have Alan Hale Jr. What did he think being in the movie?
Oh, he loved it. He was a great friend and a great camper. He loved it. And Robert Easton was the guy that really had an effect on the picture.
Mhm.
He knew from the beginning, he says, unless we camped it, you're not going to make it as a serious science fiction picture. I agreed.
Mhm.
And remember, this shot, it was shot without a script. I've said that many times. That a completed script. I was getting a few pages at a time. And it was between Robert Easton and I that we made up in the way of the camp stuff. And a little humor and some of the lines that I never knew where to take it toward the end because I never knew if we were going to have a spider in time.
Sure.
That was not so funny. That was a pretty tense situation for me. I tell you, I was shaking in my boots when I came back from Hollywood and I had to produce a 25-foot spider, which I promised.
I think you pulled it off, and you pulled off a film that appeals to a wide audience who seem to still enjoy it today. And you have a reimagining as well that you've been working on. And how is that project going?
Well, we're a little late on the post production.
Mhm.
And like I said, unfortunately, it's really hopefully, middle of next week.
Sure.
I had to set, we didn't know how fast it was going to happen. I had to set a premiere date in Rhinelander for the October. But like I said before, I wish you were down there to celebrate and start the celebration.
Well, we'll definitely let people know about it. Our audience here at Sawdust City Fright Fest, and I'm sure some of them will take the trip up there to see it because going to be a lot of fun and a good celebration of the legacy of this film and you as a filmmaker in general. And I appreciate you taking the time for this. And if there was one horror movie, I guess, to close it out that you really enjoy. Do you have a favorite in particular?
Well, a horror movie, I love all of Hitchcock stuff
Hmm.
and Castle films, and I love Roger Corman stuff with the American International pictures, the old Edgar Allan Poe story. That's the type of horror,
Hmm.
not necessarily visual horror, blood, guts, and I'm not. I'm not. Remember, the studio was a family operation for 20. Even though Hollywood always said, and the distributors in Hollywood said, "Oh, man, you got to put some more blood and guts and a little more DNA in there." I said, "Well, we try." By the way, we're also coming out um, with a new version of which the name I really don't want to mention, Blood Harvest.
Mm.
But we have a PG rated version that was supposed to be in the beginning, but ready to come out in a couple of weeks. I really can't be. It is like a super thriller, more on the level of Hitchcock. And
And if you had advice to give to a young filmmaker who's just starting out, independent filmmaker, what piece of advice would you give them?
to concentrate on story, character, story driven material. So it's not just horror, that it is or a strong story, character driven, enjoy entertainment and mystery, as well as looking at the splatter of blood and gut. I know that's easy to do, create a monster and make a movie. You gotta have a story with it, otherwise it won't work.
You have a great story with giant spider invasion, and this was a great time to talk to you, sir. I appreciate it. And I know our Sawdust City Fright Fest audience will appreciate it as well. So thank you very much, Bill.
Well, Mark, thank you. I wish I could be down there, but I really feel bad about not being able to make it.
Well,
I've been on a horrendous schedule the last
well, you're with us with spirit in spirit, if nothing else, sir. So
that I am.